Welcome to this video where I want to demonstrate how you can use our software to do matrix multiplication. Of course, this will also include the procedure where we are going to demonstrate how to enter two matrices, and in this software we will call matrices arrays. So this is the software. How the software looks like. This is the initial interface. When you open the software, it will open inside this interface here. So there is a top menu, there is the toolbar with quite a number of icons. There is the left pane where we have different tabs, as you can see. And last, on the far right, we have another window pane, which has these tabs here. One, the execute status. This will show you if there are any the status of the command or other procedure that you have run. If there are any errors, they'll be displayed here. If the procedure is successful, then you'll get a message being displayed here. Then there is the Workspace tab, which displays the objects in your memory. Those could be either arrays or data frame. Then there is the history tab, which shows you the procedures that you have run previously. Of course, each of these windows has each of these tabs has some access icons at the top here. They can do what is being indicated here. Then down here we have the directory. This shows you the files and folders that are in your working directory. Then this one here shows you the help. If there's any help, it will be displayed here, or if you want to get any help, then you just type it here and press the enter key. It will be displayed down here. Then this will show some few settings of this interface here. So to the far right, let me just come back here where we have the left pane. We have because this is the software name, the software name will be here, and of course the version, where we'll display some information to introduce the software, and some few procedures. Then here is where the results will be displayed. It will be displayed inside this blank white space here. Then there will be a link to the icon latex. Once I run a procedure, it will always generate a latex file, which I can click to get to view the code. Of course, if I click on it now, there's no procedure, so I'm going to get an error here. Now this one here, the PDF icon, is what will be used to run the latex file in order to generate a PDF file. Again, if I clicked on it, I'll get an error because currently we have not run any procedure. Then this one here will show you the step-by-step procedure. This shows you the answer, the result, just the answer itself. But if you wanted the steps, then they are going to be shown here. Of course, as we saw for the results tab, that there is the latex and PDF icons, the same appear here, and their work is again to open a latex file and run the latex file. Then this one here will give you the Python syntax for the procedure that you have run. Here you'll be able to view the objects in your workspace. Whatever will be indicated here, you can click on it and view it inside here. Then this will show you visualization. Any graphs that you plot will be displayed here, and you can click on any of these tabs here to view a graph and so on. Currently there are no graphs, and that's why if I click on any of them, then no graph is being displayed here. So as I've said, we want to use this to demonstrate how you'll multiply two matrices, and the matrices that we are looking at are here. These are the two matrices that we would like to multiply. We have chosen the procedure matrix multiplication was chosen because we believe that everyone identifies him or herself with matrices or rather linear algebra. It's a common procedure, so we thought that will capture as many users as is possible in this demonstration, though the procedures we have are various and some of them are quite advanced. So these are the matrices. What we need to do is then to come and enter the matrices in our software. So this is the software. So I just enter those matrices. Just a minute. Share the screen. I share the screen like that. So I click this icon here. It's the one that will generate new arrays. Of course, I can also click here and use this menu link here. So I prefer this one here. Click on it. Then I enter the matrix name here. So for example, I'll click H. I'll call it, sorry, let me call it A. You can call it any name as long as the name is consistent with these rules, as you can see here. So I'm choosing the letter A as the object name. Then I know the first matrix is it's a 3 by 4 matrix. So I'll select 3 rows and 4 columns like that. Then I begin to type. So the first one is 5/7. The second one is pi all over 4. The third one is -2, 8, 0, 1/2, then square root of 3 all over 2. Then there is -4, then square root of 2, square root of 2 all over 2. Then there is 2, then there is square root of 5. Then there is 11 all over 7. So that's the first matrix that we have. So that's all. You can leave the rest as default, but ultimately I can just say something small about it. This one here defines the data types as will be captured in Python. You see, remember the Python syntax as we saw here. This one will capture those data types. Then here you can have the column names. You can convert this by default. This elements you enter here is captured as an array. So if I wanted to convert that to a data frame, rather a table, then I'll click this. And if I have variable names, I can specify, for example, for this array that I've created, it's a 3 by 4, I'll need to enter 3 row names and 4 column names, as you can see here. If I increase this, for example, to 5, you will need to enter 5 names. If I increase this, so as I increase each one of these, you will see that down here, the same is updating. So let me go back to my original matrix and simply uncheck that. Then this tab here shows you the status of what you have done. For example, for this, I've entered a matrix. So if I click create, it will tell me it should give me some communication here. So I'll create that matrix. And if you look here, you can see that it has given me some communication that executed successfully. So if I click, it's telling me that that matrix has been created and so on. So I just go back. Then if I needed some help on this procedure here, I simply will click help and it will give me some help information here. So it tells me all these input fields are given here with a brief explanation of what each one of them is. Then we also have the reset button, which resets. For example, now we want to enter the second matrix. I'll need to reset whatever we had entered, so it goes back to the original. Rather, it initializes our input. So click reset. You can see that it has the reset is successful. Then I now enter the new array name, rather the second matrix name. So that is B. Then I know it's a 3 by 4 matrix. So a 4 by 3 matrix. So I specify 4 rows and 3 columns like that. Well, before I proceed, let me demonstrate something again. If I made any errors here, I may not proceed with this. This input will not be accepted. That error will be displayed automatically. For example, if I created this array here and clicked create, I'll get an error. It tells me that the 4 by 3 array has 12 empty cells, and then it identifies each of them positions for those cells. So actually, these are all the cells. So then it tells me that please fill these empty cells and retry. If I fill just a few, for example, let me just demonstrate this. 3, 7, 0 minus 5, 2, 9, 1, 0, 4, then 5. Suppose I forgot these two cells and then clicked create. This is what will happen. It will still tell me that the 4 by 3 array you defined as two empty cells. Then it gives you the positions, position 4, 2. I can come here and see 4, 2 is this one here, this cell here, and position 4, 3. 4, 3 is this one here, is 4, then 3. So it's this cell here. So I must fill this cell for the input to be accepted. So the cell values are 2 and 1. With that, I'm ready to click the create button for this array to be accepted. So I simply click create. Again, it tells me that it has been successful. And if you looked at this point here, it also shows you that executed successfully in green. So you are fine with that. Now I've entered my two matrices, so it's time for me now to go on to the procedure, which is matrix multiplication. So I simply close this dialog window. If you can see that it generates a Python procedure, syntax for whatever inputs that I've inserted. So this is, if I wanted to create the first array in Python, this is what I will enter. And if I wanted to create the second input, this is what I will enter. Of course, the only difference is the variable and name and the elements that are being input. Then in this window here, it will display now. We initially did not have any arrays in the memory, but now that we have created two, they'll always appear. All of them will be listed here. And as I said, you can view each of these items by simply clicking on it. Then you click view. It should view this matrix. Of course, I can expand it like that to see all the elements. Unfortunately, this procedure here gives the values in decimals. It does not give it in exact form, as we can see here. Can expand this to see. It does not give it in this form here. It gives us the float. Actually, this is known as float representation. If I wanted to view the second matrix, of course, I can use click here and then view. It will give me the second matrix. I can reduce that like that. I can also use these two buttons to go within like that. Where this one here is telling me there's some file that I've not put here. Well, with that, I can clear, of course, after I've viewed my inputs, I can choose to clear, or someone else will decide to, for example, export this to Excel. If I wanted to export this results, this table here to Excel, I simply click that, and it will be exported to Excel. Its variable name is this. It's a 4 by 3 matrix, and so on. So I can export that like that. If you go to that folder, you'll see that that file has been, this array here has been saved as an Excel file. So I think I can move over. I was to say that once I'm done with viewing, I have the option of clearing this, so that I can just click the clear button to remove the table. And if I do that, you can see that all fields have now become inactive. For me to activate them, I need to click at least to view one object and so on. So just do that. Well, that was by the way, our main interest is here. Is matrix multiplication. So I go to mathematics, then linear algebra, then matrix multiplication. I find it here. So click on it. It pops up this window here with quite a number of fields to be input. So matrix multiplication requires two matrices, of course. Well, there can be any number of matrices, but for this one here, we are looking at it two matrices at a time. So the first thing is to do is to select the first matrix, which we say that for this software, a matrix will be known as an array. So an array will represent a matrix, a column vector, and a row vector, and including a scalar. Scalar will be stored as a 1 by 1 array. So I simply click on it, and it will list for me only the matrices that are in this in the memory. So these are the only two matrices that we had created, so they'll be listed here. So I'll click the first matrix, and then here it will only select the matrices that are compatible with this matrix here. So this being this was a what by what, a 3 by 4, it will select now in the drop down here, it will only select matrices that 4 by 3 for them to be compatible. So you can see that, for example, A will not appear here because I can multiply a 3 by 3 matrix, a 3 by 4, and a 3 by 4 matrix. Those two matrices are not compatible. So that's why it has been removed from this drop down menu here. So I'll select this one here. Then I want to give I don't want the answer in decimal points. For the first case, we do not want the answer in decimal points. So I'll uncheck this. And if I do that, you can see that this field here becomes inactive. So I cannot select the number, change the decimal points. Then another input, for example, I can choose to save the results in a new array, which is the default. So I can say I'll call the new array as M. A new matrix that are the product of multiplying matrix A and B will now be saved as matrix M. So, well, with that, I'm ready to go. So I simply click the run button, and it tells me that executed successfully. The same communication is being given here, and so on. So now if I come here, I'll see that my matrix has been added. So this is an matrix M, which is the product of this matrix and that matrix. Then, so, well, that is all. So I can now, if I click, well, before I click the close button, the same steps that we did for the other matrix still apply. For example, if I wanted to reset, well, my input by default, once I click the run button, it resets these inputs. If I click the help button, it gives me help on this particular matrix multiplication procedure. So that's the help button. Now reset, for example, if I had selected, say, M. Now if I select M, you can see that it gives me these two matrices. Now it has eliminated B because B is not compatible with this matrix here. So for example, if I selected M, and then I can do this, for example, I click that. Now to reset this, I always go back to the original. So this one will be unchecked, this one will be checked, and so on. So I simply click reset. It will reset everything here, as you can see. Now that is fine, that's all. Or maybe I can run another procedure, for example, matrix M and matrix A. We know that this is a 4 by 4 matrix and this is a 4 by 3 matrix, and therefore they are two matrices that are compatible. So for this one here, I save the output. I want to give the answer in decimals and give the decimals to, for example, 14 decimals. Then here, I don't put any variable name. If I do not put any variable name here, then by default, the variable name will take these two object names. So the new variable name will be MA. This is how the software will save the new array. So click run, and then close to get the results. So you can see that in our first case, we multiplied A by B and called it matrix M. So these are the results. Then I can scroll down to see that the second one you multiplied M by A and did not give it a name. So we say that it will be called M8, just takes this variable name and this variable name to give us the result. If you look at the object names carefully, there are some subscripts that we add. For example, this 3 by 4, and their colors are different. So the aim is to emphasize the difference between those two matrices. This is a 3 by 4 matrix. I can see it's a 3 by 4. So there are 3 by 4 columns. Then this is B is a 4 by 3 matrix. So this figure here, the 4 here the 4 must be similar to whatever is here for the two matrices to be compatible. Then this 3 and 3 the figure that is here and here will give us the resultant matrix. So for example, our new matrix will be a 3 by 3 matrix. And this is what is happening here, that if I multiply A and B, then the result is M, which is a 3 by 3 matrix. And as I've said, it's simply the rows of A and the columns of B. Then these 4 and these 4 are the columns of A, which must be equals to the rows of B for the two matrices to be compatible, a necessary condition for matrix multiplication. So in a nutshell, these are the results that you are going to get when you multiply those two matrices. So we looked at these two icons here. I say that this one here will be used to generate a LaTeX file for the whatever output that has been displayed here. So if I wanted to look at that file to open the syntax, I simply click the LaTeX file and it will open up. So you can see this is the LaTeX file containing that output. Of course, I can run it here to generate a PDF of those results. You can see that those results are here as we had found in our software. You can, of course, open the PDF by clicking this icon. And this is the PDF that you get. So these are the PDF results of whatever we had generated in our software. So back to the software, we are here. This is what we had. As I said, instead of opening the LaTeX file and going to the LaTeX software to run it, an easier way is simply to click PDF here. Just click the PDF icon and it will run that output. And generate a PDF. So this is the PDF that it has generated. It's just similar to the other one that we had generated by running the LaTeX software. So that was a brief video to demonstrate the functionality of the software that we have developed. There are quite a number of procedures. There are so many procedures that we have for this software. We have just taken matrix. We have just demonstrated one of those many procedures. So there are quite many, as you can see. So thank you for your time and for watching this video. We welcome you to our company, STEM Research Limited.